So good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the fifth type of numerical, which can be formed in a flywheel. Okay. Previously we have discussed uh, five different type of numericals. What were they? The first one was where the t theta diagram was already given to us. Okay. The second one was where the t theta diagram was not given, but some details to draw the diagram was given in the question in form of text. All right. What was the third type? In the third type, no diagram was given, but uh, the equation for t theta diagram was given in terms of different functions, different trigonometric functions, and some constants. So with the help of that, we tried to draw the diagram and determine whatever was asked in the question. Okay. Type 4, what was the type 4? Multi-cylinder engine was given to us. So in that we already discussed that first make the diagram for one cylinder, and then we'll overlap that for successive cylinders, and ultimately uh, we'll draw the combined t theta diagram and solve the question. Okay, now the fifth type is the most important type because it shows the application of flywheel in other machining operations such as riveting operation, punching operation. And this is very important because uh, question based on this are asked in the competitive exams such as gate exam, then there are engineering services examination, then there are SSC junior engineer examination, and so on. Okay, so for technical examinations, entrance examinations or competitive examinations, this type is favorite of the question makers. Okay, the question paper setters are very keen, very fond of this application of flywheel. So they will definitely ask questions based on this application of the flywheel. Okay, so uh, it becomes the utmost uh, importance to understand this. Okay, so I hope you will be able to comprehend this properly. So let's start with today's lecture with this. Okay, so type 5, as we just discussed, that it is the application of flywheel in punching and riveting machine. So what all would be given to us? Let's first understand the terminology and how the things work. All right, so E1 would be the energy required by punching or riveting operation, and it takes X seconds. So when we are working about punching operation or riveting operation, there is when we talk about the mass production, one very important thing which comes into the picture is the time. So the operation time overall affects the uh, mass production time. Okay, so this another parameter that we have to take into consideration into this type of numericals is the time. Okay, so E1 is the energy required by the punching or riveting operation. So the amount of energy required to do one punching operation or one riveting operation will be denoted by E1. Okay, and E2 is the energy supplied by motor during the X time duration. Okay, so E2 is the energy supplied by our prime mover. That prime mover in most of the machines is a motor. Okay, so keep this in mind. So for how much time duration that energy is supplied by the motor will be counted, because uh, for the time the motor is running, the electricity cost will be also increasing at the same time. All right, so that's why this time function came into this time variable also is very important to consider. So fluctuation of energy, it is denoted by small e, it will be nothing but E1 minus E2. One thing which is very basic, which I want you all to understand, that Newton meter. Okay, the unit of energy is joules, right? Joules, and this joule, how it is made? It is Newton meter. Okay, and another thing which you will uh, come across with is the rating of motor, that is in watts. So, what is watt? Watts is a again derived unit, and this derived unit, 1 watt is equals to 1 joule per second. Okay, what is the unit of work done, and how much of energy is required per unit time is our work done. Okay, This is very important to understand. So let's, with this basic information, let's move forward and let's understand this E1, E2 things by the help of a small example. Okay, now let E1 be 10 kilojoule of energy required in one punching operation. So value of our E1 is 10 kilojoule means 10,000 joules. So this is what is written over here, 10,000 joule, and the operation takes 1 second. Let's consider this 1 second for our moment. Do not take this 1.5 seconds. I'll talk about 1 second. Okay, so this is the energy required. That is 1,000 joule of energy is required for one punching operation. Okay, and that punching operation takes 1 second of time. So this is clear. Now let E2. What was the E2? E2 is the energy supplied by the motor. So it will depend on the motor, what rating of motor we are using, right? So let's say we have a 10 kilowatt of motor, okay, which is used in this machine. So this 10 kilowatt, what is meant by 10 kilowatt? 10 kilowatt means 10,000 watt, and 1 watt is joule per second. So we have 10 joules per second of energy is supplied to us. Okay, 10 joules per second. All right. So our E2 is 10,000 joules. Okay, E2, these are the energy, and it is in terms of joules. All right. So 10,000 joules of energy, and the motor is providing to us in every second. So E2 is 10,000 joules, and E1 is also 10,000 joules. Okay, so if we see this, if we combine these two, what will be the value of E? E will be E1 minus E2, and E1 is also 10,000, E2 is also 10,000. So it will come out to be 0. This means that no flywheel is required during this operation, because the amount of energy required and the amount of energy supplied is equal, are equal. So fluctuation of energy is 0. So when do we use a flywheel? Whenever there is a fluctuation of energy. So no fluctuation of energy is here, so flywheel is not required. But what will happen is, so much of amount of energy will be consumed at all the time, even when it is not required. All right, because we require maximum amount of energy only during the punching time. Rest of the time the piston is moving ideal, so at that time not that much of energy is required. All right, now let's take a second example in which the E1, the value of E1 is again 1,000 joule only. That is, for doing one punching operation, we need 1,000 joule of energy. Now the motor which has been employed, let's say we bought a 5 kilowatt motor rating. Okay, and this we want to use in our punching operation, in our punching machine. Okay, so what will happen now? The capacity of motor is 5,000 joules per second. That is, in every second, it will be able to provide 5,000 joules of energy. Why? Because its rating is less. Its rating is less, so it will consume less amount of electricity. Here, the rating is 10 kilowatt, so it will consume more amount of electricity per second as compared to this motor of 5 kilowatt rating. Okay, so now our requirement was 10,000 joule, and the motor is giving how much? 5,000 joule. So if we combine these two equations, what will happen? E1 minus E2 will come out to be some positive value, and this positive value, this is the fluctuation of energy. Okay, fluctuation of energy 10,000 minus 5,000, so 5,000 is the answer. So energy, this much of energy is required while doing the punching operation. Okay, so where will this energy come from? Our motor is providing only 5,000 joule. Okay, so that amount of energy flywheel will provide to us when the operation is required. So I hope this is and this is easy to understand. You understood this. Okay, so flywheel is required. But again, the next question comes. Now flywheel is required. I agree with that. But what would be the specifications of the flywheel? So that specification we will find out by using this equation. E is equals to I Cs omega mean square. Okay, some speed would be given to us, that the RPM of motor would be given. Cs, coefficient of fluctuation of speed, we can easily find out, and I is nothing but mk square. So the space constraints would be given to us, that we will take as value of k, that is radius of gyration, and we can find out the mass that would be required to supply this much amount of energy per cycle. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now, E1, the value of E1 will not change in any case, because that much of amount of energy is required to do punching operation. Now, the punching operation would be done on a metal sheet. Let's say stainless steel is used for, we are having job of stainless steel, and that stainless steel, the energy required at all the points would be the same, so value of E1 will not change, but E2 will change depending upon the time required for one operation. See, again, how the parameter of time comes into the picture, let's understand that. Okay, this time, uh, as you can see, the second, uh, this second thing, that one point, let's suppose that for this one punching operation 1.5 seconds of time is required. All right, when 1.5 seconds of time is required, it means the energy which the motor has to supply is more than what its capacity is. What is its capacity? It can supply only 5000 joules in 1 second, but what is required? We require 10,000 joules in 1.5 seconds. So for 1.5, what will happen in 1.5 seconds? How much this will be able to produce? That is 5,000 into, we require 50% more, because 50% more time has been added. So in next half second, what will be the amount supplied by the motor? It will be 5,000 plus 2,500. That is 7,500 joules of energy this motor is supplying. Okay, so in 1.5 seconds. So the this is how the time parameters come into the picture. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now, if you see this, okay, I think we will stop this for today, and we'll discuss this in the next class. Okay, thank you everyone.